Hey guys, it's your girl K So Sweet and I'm back with another video. So I promised you guys I was talking about my last hospital stay and how much it was a disaster. Boom, let's get into it. So I go to the hospital, I check in, they ask me what brings me in. I told them I was having a sickle cell crisis, my arm is swollen, and I feel like I have a blood clot in my right arm. So they say okay, they immediately take me to the back and I'm in my own room. I was introduced to my nurse. He tells me his name and he asks what brings me in. I explain to him and he's like, okay, the doctor will be right over to see you. The male doctor comes in, I let him know what's going on, and he says, I'm going to put you in some orders, but I also want to take you to x-ray so we can see what's going on with your arm. I said, okay, transport, come pick me up. The man who was taking my pictures, he was very, very nice. He kept me calm. He did my x-rays, and I was transported back to my room. This is when the bullshit starts. He introduced me to another male nurse, and he said he's going to be helping him while he's on break. Okay, cool. So the male nurse is saying that the doctor put in orders. He put in for me to get pain medicine and fluids, but I needed an IV because my port was swollen and they didn't know where the blood clot was. They knew I had a blood clot, but they didn't know where it was because the results didn't come back yet. So I had to get an IV in my left arm, and I'm a hard stick. I'm a stickler. So when you are a hard stick, a lot of nurses don't like to try on you because it's very painful. They don't want you to be mad at them if they don't get the IV going. You know, it's just a nurse come. He tries twice on me and he did not get the stick. It was very painful, so he went to go get another nurse to try. The next nurse came, she tried, she did not get the stick, so that's 4 times. They did not get the stick. I was still in pain, and it hurts because can you imagine like a needle going in your arm and it's digging, like they're like digging in your arm trying to get a vein? It really hurts, and it leaves a lot of scar and scar tissue inside your body, and that's not comfortable, and it's very painful. And sometimes when they do get the vein can blow, which means that they can get the IV in your vein, but because the vein has so much scar tissue, the vein will blow, and when the vein blow, it like pops in your arm, and now your arm gets swollen. It's just a whole thing. So as I'm waiting for him to go get another nurse to try on me, it's 2 corrections officers that's sitting next to me that's supposed to be watching an inmate. So instead of watching an inmate, they're out like watching all the chaos in the ER. They're watching people like going through like at their lowest point in life, and I was done for it. I just found out I had a blood clot, and then on top of that, I'm about to find out that I have to stay in the hospital, and nobody wants to stay in the hospital. I mean, I don't. I have sickle cell and I hate going to the hospital. I'd rather stay home and like continue to take my medication until it works. But sometimes it don't always work like that. You have to go to the hospital. But it's so chaotic and we get treated so nasty that we rather stay home. Before, like, the hospital is the last resort. So they're like basically like taunting me. Like, can you believe that? They're taunting me, like laughing at me cry, and like as the nurse try to stick me, they're like, oh, you better stay still, girl. You better stay still. If you want this vein, you better stay still. Like, grow up. Grow up and do your job. Like, what are you doing? So I got fed up and I told them to shut the fuck up. And they did exactly that. So when I finally get, you know, my IV, shouts out to the nurse that took the other nurse job, because he literally just left me like stranded. He never came back. Like, he never came back. So I don't know if he passed me on to this nurse. I don't know if he just said, oh, can you help me with her? And just because he didn't want to deal with me. I don't know. But shouts out to the nurse who helped me, who stayed. So I finally got, you know, my IV. I finally got my pain meds, and the charge nurse comes and moves me out of my room. And I'm looking confused, and I'm like, hey, where am I going? She did not say anything. She did not answer my question, so I thought she didn't hear me. So I said, excuse me, miss, can you tell me why I'm in the hallway? She kept walking like she did not hear me. So I'm like, okay, like I know she heard me the second time, but you know what? Whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, whatever. So the doctor comes back and he's like, you indeed have a blood clot, and I just burst out in tears because, you know, like, guys, a blood clot is serious. It can take you up. It can take you out. Like, it can take you up on out of here. So I just immediately started crying. My arm was swollen like so bad I couldn't even squeeze my hand. So I called my mom to tell her the bad news, so I was gonna have to stay in the hospital. And I just broke down crying. So she was on her way to come comfort me and be there with me because I was there. I was moved out into the hallway, and the charge nurse would not tell me why. So the doctor came back and he said, you know, he was just checking on me. Miss Smart, are you okay? I said, no, like, I'm still in pain. Like, when can I get some more medicine? So he's like, in about 2.5 hours, I'll give you some more pain meds. I said, okay, can I ask you one more question? He was like, sure. I said, can you let me know, can I ask you why I was moved into a hallway? And he was like, oh, I don't know. I'll ask the charge nurse. So I said, okay, no problem. Thank you so much. He goes to ask the charge nurse, and she says out loud so I can hear her, oh, I moved her because I can. Like, she don't get what she wants. She doesn't run the hospital. I do. And if I cater to her, every time she comes back, she's going to think she can do whatever she wants, or she can get whatever she wants, and it doesn't work like that. She don't run the ER, I run it. Okay, Auntie Susie. So I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed the hell off. Like, when she did all that, y'all, that really pissed me off because I just don't get it. Like, people are sick. You go to school for all these years, take these tests, and I mean, these tests are not cheap. You do all this, finally accomplish your goal so you can be, you know, help in this world. And after all those years, this is how you treat patients? Like, this is what you went to school to do? This is what you went to school to do, to talk to patients like this? That's insane to me. So I was like really hurt. I was pissed off. Like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I was heartbroken. Like, here we go again. Like, here we go again. Like, what did I do to you? I didn't do anything to you. And this is how you're going to treat me? I asked you one question. And this is how nasty you're going to be towards me at a time like this, at a time that is very crucial and scary to me. And this is how you're going to talk to me and treat me? Okay, cool. So I was just really crying. I called my mom. I told her to come and be with me because, like, it was just too much going on. I told her about the incident. I told her what the nurse said. I told her how she ignored me. I told her everything because my mom know how I can get. So then, of course, that's what come back to me trying to put a pressure cup on my arm and, like, put my fluids up. The charge nurse. So she comes to me. I asked her again, you guys. She ignores me. And when she ignored me this time, I snatched the pressure cup off her arm. Because if you think you about to sit up here and touch me and you talking to me like that and you're ignoring me, I don't want you around me. So I snatched the pressure cup out of her arm and she walked off. She was so mad. She just walked off and I didn't care because, girl, yeah. My mom finally gets there and I explained to her what happened and my mom was like, you need to calm down. You should never did that. And she was right. Like, I should have never did that, but I was just so mad and I just couldn't believe I was getting treated like that. And she was like, I'm going to handle it. You need to calm down because, you know, if you get too spicy, they will start, you know, treating you wrong. And they will. It would be time for your medicine and they will make you wait longer. And she was the charge nurse running the ER. So I was like, you know what? You're right. Just because she was nasty to me, don't mean I should be nice to her. I'm calm down. So my mom is asking me, all the nurses, like, hey, like, who's the charge nurse? Who's the nurse in charge? And at the time, she had went into another ER. So they were like, oh, she left. And my mom was like, okay, like, what's her name? And they gave her name. My mom was like, what is her last name? Does she have a card? So they immediately got quiet because they already knew what time it is. When you go into a hospital asking for people names and cards, they already know what's about to go down. So nobody wanted to talk. So she finally comes back. Guys, when she came back and my mom, like, introduced herself to her, she was so nice to my mom. She didn't give her no attitude, no nothing. She was so nice. So my mom was like, hi, I'm Miss Mark's mother, and I just want to know what's going on. So she explains to my mom what's going on. My mom was like, okay, well, I know she was in her own room, and she said that she was pushed in the hallway. Can I ask you why she was pushed in the hallway? She said, we had a patient that was coming here, and he was having a cardiac arrest, and he needed the room more than her. So I pushed her in the hallway because he's more critical. You couldn't tell me that when I asked you that, Susie? You couldn't tell me that when I asked you that, like, 2 to 3 hours ago? No, you wanted to be nasty. You wanted to be rude. What Nene said, so nasty and so rude because she was. She was a nasty ass, you know what. And my mom was like, okay, awesome. And she was like, what is your name? And she told her her name. She was like, what is your last name? And she told her her last name. And that was that. So my doctor finally comes see me. I told him about my whole experience in the ER. And you guys, I was so mad that I got pushed in the hallway because the hallway that I was in, it was so filthy. It was so disgusting. It was blood on the wall. It was like dead mosquitoes, dead bugs on the wall. It looked like the walls has not been washed. And like, I don't know. But I just felt so uncomfortable, so dirty, and just out of place. So guys, I'm here to tell you that the next time you go to the hospital and these nurses feel like they about to treat you any type of way, no. Don't fuss at them. Don't yell at them. Don't act out of character. Just get their name, go to public relations, and report them. Because Samantha, I got a letter in the mail, and guess what, baby? You're going back to training, okay? I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy that write-up that you're about to get because... So yes, Kelly, no ma'am. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. 0 stars. Do not recommend. No, you get 4 Fs. I made this platform so I can come here and vent and let other sickle cell warriors know, like, you are not alone. Like, you are not the only one who go through this. Like, we should all come together and support each other. And to all my followers, thank you for supporting me. I hope you enjoyed this story time, and I hope you continue to follow me on my journey.